The corner of the paper catches first, curling black before the flame swallows the seal. Orange light paints the doorframe, and in that light, Anakin Skywalker stands frozen, watching his master commit treason with a cigarette lighter. But that fire did not start in Anakin's doorway. It started 20 minutes earlier, in a room where 5 old men decided a brother was a problem to be managed. The council chamber smells like cold stone and recycled air. Obi-Wan Kenobi stands at attention while Mace Windu slides a datapad across the table. The words on the screen are polite. Clinical. Monitor the emotional state of Knight Anakin Skywalker. Report deviations weekly. Do not inform the subject. Obi-Wan reads it twice. His jaw tightens. He sets the pad back down with both hands, flat, careful, the way a man sets down a knife he does not want to pick up again. Windu calls it precaution. Yoda calls it wisdom. The room nods. Nobody looks at Obi-Wan's face. They do not need to. They assume he will obey because he has always obeyed. They assume the code is louder than the man. They are wrong, and in about 19 minutes they will learn it. Obi-Wan walks out of the chamber without speaking. The corridor is empty. His boots click against tile in a slow, even rhythm. He does not go to his quarters. He does not go to the archives. He walks toward the residential wing where Anakin sleeps, where Anakin paces at 2 in the morning, where Anakin talks too loud and laughs too sharp and has been slipping further from the Order's grip for 3 years. Obi-Wan has watched it happen. He has written no report. He will write no report tonight either. The hallway outside Anakin's room is dim. A single overhead lamp buzzes. Obi-Wan stops at the door. He can hear movement inside. The soft clink of a metal cup set down. The creak of a chair. Anakin is awake. He is always awake. Obi-Wan raises his hand to knock, then lowers it. Instead, he pulls a small lighter from his belt, the one Anakin gave him on a backwater planet 2 campaigns ago, as a joke. Obi-Wan thumbs the wheel. The flame pops blue, then steady. Todi Funinzio. Inua. He pushes the door open. Anakin looks up from his cot. His eyes go to the lighter, then to the datapad in Obi-Wan's other hand, then to Obi-Wan's face. He reads the expression there and goes very still. They asked me to watch you, Obi-Wan says. His voice is quiet, flat, the way it sounds when he is about to do something irreversible. File reports. Note your moods. Flag your fears. Dimas' mouth opens, closes. His hands curl into fists on his knees. Obi-Wan holds the datapad over the lighter's flame. The screen bubbles. The casing blackens. He lets it drop to the floor, where it keeps burning, curling into a small bright pool of melted plastic. They want me to be your warden, Obi-Wan says. I'm burning the leash. Badanan stares at the little fire on the tile. Then he stares at Obi-Wan. Something behind his ribs unlocks. Not relief. Something older than relief. The look of a dog that has been kicked for years and suddenly sees a hand reaching down without a fist. You'll be expelled, Anakin whispers. Yes, arrested, possibly. Anakin stands. He crosses the room in 2 strides and grips Obi-Wan's forearm. Not a handshake, a grab, the kind where the fingers dig in because letting go means falling. Obi-Wan does not pull away. He lets Anakin hold on. He lets the moment be ugly and desperate instead of clean. But the moment is not private. The council chamber has sensors. Every corridor has them. And the small fire on Anakin's floor has already tripped a heat alarm in the security office 3 levels down. A technician is pulling up the room's feed right now. She sees Obi-Wan. She sees the burning pad. She reaches for the comm. Mace Windu will know within the hour. The charge will not be disobedience, it will be treason, and the clones garrisoned in the lower levels are already spinning up their evening patrol routes. 2 battalions. 4,000 soldiers who follow orders without asking what the orders cost. Obi-Wan looks at Anakin. Anakin looks back. Neither of them says run. Neither of them has to. Mace Windu's voice crackles over the temple-wide comm. All clone units, residential wing, authorization Omega-7, bring Kenobi in, and if Skywalker resists, put him down. The red emergency lights strobe across Anakin's face, turning his skin the color of fresh blood. The comm echo fades down the hallway, but the heavy thud of plastoid boots is already vibrating through the floorboards. Authorization Omega-7 is not a warning, it is a hunting order. Obi-Wan does not wait for Anakin to process the betrayal. He grabs his former Padawan by the tunic and shoves him toward the refresher unit hidden behind the bedroom wall. The men they bled with on Geonosis are marching up the stairs right now, and they have orders to shoot first. Anakin's hand twitches toward his belt. His thumb brushes the ignition switch of his lightsaber. He wants to carve a path through the corridor, to punish the clones for turning their blasters on the generals who saved their lives. Obi-Wan catches his wrist. The grip is iron. If they kill clones in a residential hallway, they stop being rogue Jedi and become butchers. The Republic Senate will broadcast the security footage before breakfast, and Palpatine will use it to justify a military crackdown. Anakin's jaw locks, but he lets his hand drop. He understands the trap. Fighting is exactly what the Council wants. The boots stop on the landing outside. The mechanical whine of a magnetic lock disengaging hums through the door. Obi-Wan kicks the hidden panel shut just as the bedroom door splinters inward. Through the narrow ventilation grate, they watch Commander Cody step into the room. His helmet visor is painted with the faded blue markings of the 212th. He scans the burning datapad on the floor, raises his DC-15 blaster, and signals his squad to sweep the perimeter. The man who once carried Obi-Wan on his back through the mud of Christophsis is now tracking his heat signature. Cody doesn't hesitate. He doesn't ask questions. He just follows the new chain of command. They crawl through the dark, cramped maintenance shaft that runs parallel to the main lift tubes. Dust coats their tongues. The air smells like ozone and old grease. Anakin stops at a junction, looking down at the patrol routes flashing on his wristcom. The lower docks are locked down. Every blast door between the residential sector and the commercial hangars is sealed tight by the central security grid. "We can't outrun the whole temple," Anakin whispers in the dark. Obi-Wan keeps moving, his voice barely a breath. "We don't have to outrun the temple. We just have to outrun the blast doors." They drop from the shaft into the sub-basement access corridor. But when Obi-Wan slices the control panel to open the hangar gate, the screen flashes a newly added security protocol showing the blast doors are locked from the outside, and the only override key is biometrically tied to the Jedi Master who just declared them traitors. Blue sparks shower the concrete floor as Anakin drives his elbow into the frozen console, shattering the biometric scanner. He doesn't wait for Obi-Wan to argue. He grabs his former master's arm and drags him down a narrow service corridor toward the commercial freighter bays. They have less than 3 minutes before the magnetic locks seal the sector. The air in Docking Bay 9 smells like burnt ozone and stale engine coolant. Anakin spots an impounded Corellian freighter, a rusted bucket they confiscated from a spice runner last month. He slices the boarding ramp controls with a quick burst of his saber, and the heavy metal groans downward. Obi-Wan hesitates at the edge of the ramp. Stepping onto that ship means stealing Republic property. It means they are no longer just disobedient Jedi, they are armed thieves. Anakin doesn't give him time to weigh the code against his conscience. He yanks Obi-Wan up the ramp and slams his fist on the emergency seal button. In the cockpit, Anakin bypasses the ignition locks with a mess of exposed wires. The sublight engines scream to life, vibrating through the deck plates. Outside the viewport, the bay's heavy blast doors begin to slide shut, red warning lights spinning. Obi-Wan reaches for the nav computer to plot a safe, monitored route. Anakin slaps his hand away. "I'm flying," Anakin snaps. "You just keep us alive." The freighter lurches forward, repulsor lifts whining in protest. They clear the magnetic seal with exactly 3 seconds to spare, the ship's hull scraping the closing blast doors with a shower of bright yellow sparks. Coruscant's endless skyline fills the viewport as they punch through the upper atmosphere, leaving the temple's spires far below. They are off the planet. The immediate hunt is broken, but as the stars stretch into lines of hyperspace light, the navigation computer flashes a harsh red warning. They have no valid ship registration, no transponder codes to fool port authorities, and no credits to buy fuel. Every Republic beacon will flag this hull the moment they drop out of lightspeed. Anakin stares at the flashing red screen, realizing that running away was the easy part. Surviving the vacuum of space with a stolen ship and a bleeding reputation is a completely different war. Anakin opens a secure channel to beg a trusted Senate ally for a hiding spot, but the voice that answers is a clone commander reading back the allies' signed confession. The shadow swallows the orchard in one slow sweep, turning golden afternoon light into cold gray. Obi-Wan looks up from the crate of fruit he is carrying and sees it, a Venator-class Star Destroyer, hanging in the blue Naboo sky like a blade pressed against the throat of the world. Its hull blocks the sun. The birds stop singing. 2 days. That is how long the safe house lasted. 2 days of sleeping in real beds, of eating hot meals at Padme's kitchen table, of Anakin pacing the garden without flinching at every sound. Padme had hidden the stolen freighter under a canvas tarp in the south orchard, buried it between rows of fruit trees, and told her staff to take the week off. For 48 hours, they were not fugitives. They were just 2 exhausted men breathing air that did not smell like engine coolant and fear. Now the cruiser sits above them, and the silence it brings is louder than any alarm. Padme steps onto the terrace, a cup of tea still in her hand. She stares at the warship. Her knuckles go white around the porcelain. She does not say a word. She does not need to. Every Senate colleague she has ever worked with now knows her name is stitched to 2 traitors. her career, her reputation, her ability to protect them legally, all of it just evaporated in the shadow of that hull. Anakin appears at the window behind her. His eyes lock onto the cruiser's sensor array, the rotating dish scanning the ground below in slow, patient arcs. Life sign sweeps. Thermal imaging, electromagnetic pulse detection. If he so much as ignites his lightsaber, the energy signature will paint a target on this estate within 4 seconds. He knows this. His hand twitches toward his belt anyway. Obi-Wan sees it. He does not grab Anakin's wrist this time. He simply steps between Anakin and the window, blocking the view of the ship. "We don't fight the sky," Obi-Wan says quietly. "We wait for it to blink." But the sky does not blink. The cruiser parks itself in low orbit and holds position. No landing craft deploy. No comm hails come through. It just watches. The scanning beam sweeps the orchard again, and the tarp over the freighter rustles in the electromagnetic wash. They cannot leave by ship. They cannot call for help. They cannot even light a saber without ringing a bell in a bridge officer's headset 300 kilometers above. Padme sets her tea down. The cup rattles against the saucer. She walks inside and locks the terrace doors, as if glass can stop a starship. The cruiser's underbelly opens, and a single shuttle detaches, burning a slow descent vector directly toward Padme's estate. The shuttle's repulsor lifts cast a bruised purple shadow across the orchard grass, but Anakin isn't looking at the ship. He is staring at the heavy iron deadbolt of the hangar, his thumb hovering over his lightsaber's ignition switch. He wants to cut the doors off their hinges and slaughter the landing party before their boots touch the dirt. Obi-Wan steps directly into the blade's path. He doesn't draw his own weapon. He just puts his body between Anakin and the exit, his hands flat against the cold iron of the hangar doors. Anakin's eyes are wide, blown black with adrenaline, and the desperate need to do something violent. If they wait in the house, they are rats in a trap. If they fight, they control the ground. Anakin pushes forward, but Obi-Wan slams his palm onto the emergency lockdown panel. Thick magnetic clamps engage with a sound like a cracking bone. The hangar seals. Obi-Wan pulls the physical override key from the slot, slides it into his deep tunic pocket, and folds his arms. He is no longer just a mentor offering advice. He is a warden enforcing a rule. Anakin stares at the pocket, then at Obi-Wan's face. The silence between them stretches tight, heavier than the cruiser above. Anakin hits the metal door with his fist. Once, twice. The iron doesn't dent, but his knuckles split. He turns his back to the exit, sliding down the wall until he hits the dirt floor. "You didn't burn the leash," Anakin whispers, his voice cracking in the dim light. "You just put it on my neck." Obi-Wan doesn't answer. He can't, because Anakin is right. Trust fractures along that exact seam. Anakin stops looking at the hangar doors and starts looking at the shadows. He pulls a cracked datapad from his boot and begins cycling through encrypted, unsanctioned comm frequencies. He is searching for smugglers, bounty hunters, anyone who sells weapons and doesn't ask questions. He needs a way out of this garden, and he has decided that way will not go through the man standing guard. Anakin's stolen datapad finally catches an encrypted signal in the static, and the calm voice whispering back knows exactly what color his lightsaber is. The blue hologram flickers to life on the stolen datapad, casting a ghostly glow across Anakin's face as Supreme Chancellor Palpatine smiles from a secure Senate channel. Palpatine isn't calling to order an airstrike, he is calling to make a trade. The Chancellor's voice is smooth, entirely devoid of the panic gripping the rest of the Republic military. He tells Anakin that the Jedi Council has lost its mind, that Windu's treason charges are a political purge, and that the Senate still recognizes Anakin as a decorated hero of the Clone Wars. Then comes the price. Palpatine offers a full executive pardon, a clean ship, and a new identity in the Outer Rim. The only condition is that Anakin must deliver Obi-Wan in stun cuffs to a Republic pickup point before dawn. Obi-Wan is no longer just a hunted fugitive. He is the exact currency Palpatine is using to buy Anakin's loyalty. Obi-Wan stands in the shadow of the parlor doorway, watching the blue light wash over his former student. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't draw a weapon to stop the transmission. He just watches Anakin's thumb hover over the comms panel. Anakin drops his hand and looks up, his eyes hard and completely dry. "You burned the code for me, Obi-Wan," Anakin says, his voice barely above a whisper. "Don't ask me to burn you for them." The hologram cuts out, leaving the room in sudden, heavy darkness. Anakin slips the datapad back into his boot without looking back. He walks past Obi-Wan into the hallway, his boots striking the stone floor with a slow, measured rhythm. The silence between them is no longer just anger. It is cold calculation. Obi-Wan realizes that the man he sacrificed his rank for is now actively weighing his master's life against a Senate pardon. Anakin locks himself in the guest wing and begins drawing a map of the estate's perimeter, marking the exact blind spots where a midnight prisoner exchange could happen. Moonlight cuts through the comm tower's grated window, illuminating dust motes as Anakin's fingers fly across the console to open a reply channel to Palpatine. He intends to negotiate, to buy time, to play the Sith Lord against the Jedi Council. But when the encrypted connection loads, the screen does not display Palpatine's seal. It displays a buried outgoing log from this very terminal, time-stamped 3 days ago. Anakin freezes. The log shows a coded plea sent directly to the Jedi High Council, begging for a formal, public trial for Obi-Wan Kenobi. The sender ID belongs to Padme Amidala. Attached to the plea is a response file, opened and read but never deleted. Anakin clicks it. The document is brief. It is not a trial date, it is a kill authorization, signed in Mace Windu's own digital cipher. Padme tried to save them through the law, and the council answered with an execution order. She never told them. The revelation hits Anakin like a physical blow. His trust in the Jedi system, already fractured, collapses entirely into dust. But the deeper wound is personal. Padme kept this secret from him. She managed his emotions just like the Council managed Obi-Wan's missions. The people who claimed to love him decided what truth he could handle, treating him like a volatile weapon instead of a man. He grips the edge of the console until his knuckles turn white. He types a non-committal reply to Palpatine, buying hours instead of making a deal. The channel stays open, a live wire connecting him to the dark. He whispers the words into the microphone, his voice steady but hollow. He is no longer negotiating for freedom. He is negotiating because every other door has been locked by someone who said they cared. Obi-Wan sleeps in the main house, unaware that the foundation beneath him just gave way. Anakin stares at the blinking cursor, carrying a fresh grief that has no name. The Jedi are murderers. Padme is a handler. Palpatine is a predator. There is no safe ground left in the galaxy, only choices between different kinds of cages. A Republic newsfeed suddenly overrides the console's display, broadcasting leaked security footage of Obi-Wan burning the spy decree to every screen in the sector. Sparks erupt from the comm console as Obi-Wan's lightsaber slices through the metal casing, melting circuits and silencing the transmission mid-sentence. He found Anakin at the tower, saw the open channel to Palpatine, and reacted with the only language left between them: destruction. Blue plasma bites through steel, showering the stone floor in hot white embers that hiss against the damp night air. But the damaged screen flickers to life before the power dies completely. A completed transmission burst glows green on the cracked display. Palpatine already locked their coordinates before the blade ever touched the metal. The secret channel is dead, but the information is gone. Their location on Naboo now sits in the Sith Lord's hands, a beacon calling down whatever nightmare he chooses to send. Obi-Wan deactivates his saber. The room plunges into darkness, lit only by the dying sparks and the faint moonlight through the grate. He stands breathing hard, the smell of ozone thick in his throat. His protective instinct just confirmed Anakin's deepest fear. When words fail, Obi-Wan destroys. He did not ask what Anakin was saying. He did not try to understand. He simply cut the line, treating his brother like a malfunctioning machine instead of a person making a desperate choice. Anakin does not move. He does not shout. He stands in the shower of fading sparks, staring at the ruined console, refusing to look at Obi-Wan's face. The silence between them is worse than any scream. It is the sound of two men who have run out of ways to bridge the gap. They are no longer master and apprentice, no longer brothers in arms. They are just two fugitives trapped in a broken room, pinned between the Republic cruiser scanning from above and the Sith Lord now holding their exact position. They have hours at best before Palpatine's agent arrives. They cannot flee because the sky is still watched. They cannot hide because the ground is now marked. Every option has been burned away by the very people trying to keep each other safe. Anakin turns his back on the ruined console and walks out into the rain, leaving Obi-Wan alone with the wreckage of his own protection. Rain hammers the orchard grass as Anakin grabs Obi-Wan by the collar and slams him against the estate's outer stone wall. The impact knocks the breath from Obi-Wan's lungs, his boots skidding in the mud as Anakin's forearm presses against his throat. Lightning flashes overhead, illuminating the raw fury in Anakin's eyes as he screams that he will never be caged again. Not by the Council, not by Palpatine, and not by the man who claims to love him. Obi-Wan does not fight back. He does not reach for his saber or attempt a defensive grapple. He lets Anakin's fist shake against his chest, feeling the tremor of a man who has been pushed past every boundary he ever knew. The rain soaks them both, plastering their tunics to their skin, washing away the last pretense of rank or title. They are no longer knight and Padawan. They are just two frightened men in a garden, stripped of every institution that once defined them. Anakin releases his grip and steps back, his chest heaving. He stares at Obi-Wan for one long second, then turns and walks into the darkness of the orchard. He does not look back. He does not say where he is going. He simply vanishes into the storm, leaving Obi-Wan pressed against the wet stone with nothing but the sound of falling rain and the echo of a scream that cannot be unsaid. The physical line has been crossed. Anakin put hands on the man who raised him, and neither of them can pretend the old shape still holds. Obi-Wan slides down the wall until his knees hit the mud. He must now protect Anakin without any authority, without any trust, without even the certainty that Anakin wants to be protected. The Brotherhood remains, but the foundation is cracked beyond repair. Out in the rain, Anakin is alone. He has no ship, no plan, no ally he can fully trust. He is a target moving blind through enemy territory, carrying a grief that makes him dangerous to everyone around him, including himself. A separatist dropship breaks through the cloud cover without warning, its searchlights sweeping the orchard exactly where Anakin disappeared into the dark. Perimeter alarms shriek through the pre-dawn mist as Jedi gunships descend from the cruiser above and separatist droid transports rise simultaneously from the southern ridge. Both forces converge on Padme's garden at the exact same moment, their engines drowning out the birdsong as Windu leads the Jedi column from the east while a tactical droid commands the metal wave from the west. They are not allies, but they share one objective: secure Anakin Skywalker at any cost. The estate transforms into a killing box in seconds. Blaster fire erupts from both tree lines, crisscrossing over the orchard where the brothers stand exposed. The two sides that have been hunting them separately now arrive together, turning their last shelter into a crossfire with no exit that isn't guarded. Padme's garden, which held their only moments of peace, is now a battlefield where every path leads to capture or death. Obi-Wan pulls Anakin behind a stone fountain as plasma bolts chew through the marble. If the Jedi take Anakin, he faces execution under Windu's kill authorization. If the droids take him, Palpatine gets a weapon forged in betrayal. Either capture ends the story permanently. There is no negotiation left, no hidden frequency to exploit, no ally arriving to break the siege. The only way out is through both armies at once, and neither man can fight this battle alone. Anakin ignites his saber, the blue blade humming against the gray dawn light. He does not look at Obi-Wan for permission or strategy. He simply moves, deflecting a volley of droid fire while Obi-Wan covers his flank against the advancing Jedi. They fight back to back, not because they trust each other completely, but because they have no other choice. The Brotherhood is fractured, but it is still the only shield they have left. Windu's strike team breaches the garden wall, blades ignited, moving with lethal precision toward Anakin's position. The tactical droid repositions its heavy repeaters, locking onto the same target from the opposite side. The net closes from both directions, and the space between survival and annihilation shrinks to the width of a lightsaber blade. A Jedi Knight swings at Anakin from behind, and Obi-Wan steps sideways into the arc without hesitation.